chapter 15. And if you're familiar with that passage, it's a passage about the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And Paul is trying to make the point that if Christ did not rise from the dead, we as Christians, we as followers of Jesus, are to be pitied above all men. Because our faith is futile, our faith is meaningless, we are still in our sins. We are a mockery to the rest of the world because we choose to follow Jesus, and yet he didn't rise from the dead. But Paul says, nevertheless, Jesus did come back to life, literally in a bodily form, rose from the dead. And at the end of this chapter, talking about the resurrection, not only of Jesus Christ, but the future resurrection that all of us here on this bus will have. And I know that there are some days, many of us probably feel like, I can't wait for that resurrection to come because of things that we encounter during life. But that resurrection will come someday. And Paul concludes this chapter on the victory over sin and the victory over death because of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And he concludes and he says this, chapter 15, verse 58. I love this conclusion. Therefore, my dear brothers, I'll also insert, and sisters, stand firm. Let nothing move you. Always give yourselves fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. And this morning, I just want to remind us all, I know we're on a trip and we're seeing the churches of Revelation, and we're going to go to Greece and see where Paul preached, on Mars Hill and other locations. But I want to remind us all that as followers of Jesus, sometimes, I'm not going to ask for a show of hands, but I can guarantee you, all of us, many times in our lifetime, perhaps feel like, is my labor in vain? Is my Christian walk in vain? So most of us on this bus, I'm assuming, are probably involved in our local churches back home and volunteering with ministry. Some of you are in ministry as pastors. But irregardless if you're volunteering with ministry or if you're a pastor,